Hello, happy Monday. I just wanted to come on here and talk to you a little bit about something that happened to me today. And it got me thinking about limits. So let me tell you my story. Earlier this year, I suffered what we think was stress fractures in my foot. I've had them in the past, so the feeling kind of was the same. So I was thinking that that's what had happened to me. And that was in January. And then in end of February-ish, beginning of March, I had an x-ray. They didn't find very much. Okay, move into last week. And it's come back. Same feeling, but it actually is more painful. I've been on and off my foot for the past few days. Nothing has helped. There's a different kind of throbbing pain that I've never had before, and then up my leg. Anyway, I called my doctor, couldn't get in, and then I called telehealth, and they referred me to another doctor that's doing online stuff, which is fantastic. And I spoke with him. He got me a referral, went to the clinic, and had an x-ray today. So I'm waiting for the results of the x-ray. Hopefully should have them by tomorrow. So anyway, this got me thinking about limits. And then I got thinking about, are they limits or are they excuses? Okay. And so I want you to think about what is happening in your life that you are calling a limit. Okay, so there are three questions I want you to ask. I want you, number one, to ask, what is the limit that is currently facing you or that you're presented with? Okay, what is the situation? Okay, so my limit is I actually can't really walk on my foot and it's very painful and I got to figure out what's going on with it. Okay, the second question is, why did it happen? Okay, so I want you to think about, is it something that you did? Some of your actions or decisions that you made, or is it something that's an outside force that you don't really have any control over, right? Because sometimes these situations arise and you don't really have any control over it. So think about my foot. It's an outside situation. I didn't do anything. Well, maybe I did. I used my foot when I shouldn't have, right? That was a choice that I made. But what is that? Why is it happening? Okay, so maybe I wasn't as careful as I should be. Maybe I just ignored the pain. And honestly, my foot was doing much better and it just kind of happened. And I was on my foot more for sure, but there wasn't any event that happened. Okay, so what is the limitation that's happened? What's the situation? Why did it happen? Is it an outside force or is it based on actions or reactions or decisions that you made? And then number three, how can you change it? So I want you to think about what you can do in this situation to make it a positive thing. So this is where I was thinking about myself, and I love to work out and I love to train legs. Well, often when you train legs, you're standing. So how can I change this? Excuse me. How can I change this situation? Okay. How can I make it not a limitation? So I decided that I would do my workout. And so I've got two options. Number one, I could just work core and back, upper body, and not do legs. The other option is that I can actually do a leg workout, but I will be doing it on the floor as opposed to a standing position. And, ultimately, the limit could have been that I just don't do my workout today. But I decided to change the way that I'm looking at the situation and to change how I'm going to move forward and continue to, make sure that I get my workout done today. So I want you to think about my title. My title was, is it a limit or is it an excuse? Okay, because often we call something a limitation or a challenge or a barrier, whatever word you want to use. I'm going to use the word limit, but we call it a limitation or a challenge, but in fact, it's an excuse. Okay, so think about what's happening with my foot. I could say, oh, well, I can't do my workout today. I used it as my excuse not to do my workout. So when you're faced with something that you're calling a limitation, I want you to think about, is it a limitation? And if it is, why? What is the limitation? Why did it happen? How can you change it? And then I want you to think about, is it truly a limitation, or is it just become your excuse to not do something? Okay. And we all do it. It's not a judgment at all. It's just a reality. And to make changes and to make progress on whatever it is that you're focusing on, you need to really call yourself out if you're using something as a limitation or a challenge, and then you're allowing it to become your excuse for not doing something. So there's lots of different examples I'm sure that you can think of. Another one that comes to mind is food, right? So you went to a party, or you ate badly on the weekend. Maybe, I don't know, you had cheesecake. I love cheesecake. So I ate cheesecake on the weekend. And then I think about, well, I ate cheesecake, so I might as well not worry about having a healthy dinner tomorrow, or my whole entire weekend is blown. No, it was one piece of cheesecake. I'm using that event, that limit, as my excuse to continue to make unhealthy choices. Okay? So I want you to think about, whenever you're faced with some kind of challenge, like I was today with my foot, is it a limit? Is it an excuse? And how you can change that to make it a positive thing, or how you can modify it so that whatever it is you're using as an excuse, you can get over it and meet that challenge and be successful. So I hope that was helpful. Please feel free to tag a friend, like this post, share it with your friends if you think that's something that they need to hear today. And what are you using as your limit or your excuse? Drop it in the comments so I can see, and maybe I can give you a suggestion on how to turn that into a positive win for you today. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.